All right, the court is calling 2019 CR 9039, State versus James, Arlington Cole. Can I have parties announced? For the defense?
Michael Deleón for Mr. Cole.
Ashley Jones for the state. Apologize, Judge.
Michael Deleón still for Mr. Cole.
All right, and are you Mr. Cole?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same James Arlington Cole who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2019 CR 9039 for the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on February 12th, 2024 for a period of 6 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Violation condition number 4.
Oh, and I'm sorry, could you announce for the record?
Rick Payne for the state of Texas. My apologies.
All right, you may proceed.
Violation of condition number 14G. On or about the 31st day of May 2025 in Bear.
That phrase, plead true, is Texas courtroom lingo. Unlike guilty, which admits to the crime itself, pleading true admits to violating probation terms. And the judge just reminded Cole that a single true could slam the door shut on his deal and open one to 20 years in prison. That's like admitting to missing class and finding out the punishment is the electric chair.
And or Harris County, Texas. The defendant, James Arlington Cole, did then and there fail to attend, comply with all rules, regulations, instructions, and financial agreements as directed by the court and or supervision officer and or the head of or authorized personnel of the following counseling education program, state accredited battering intervention and prevention program in a violation of condition number 14G.
How do you plead to that, true or not true?
True. Your Honor, I had.
Just one moment.
Judge, we're gonna be doing true with an explanation.
All right. So with regards to the other violations,
State will waive the other 2 violations, Your Honor.
any objections?
No objections.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of 14G, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation 14G?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find 14G true. Is there proposed agreement?
There is not, Your Honor. Both sides are going to go open to the court with our recommendations.
All right, state, what are you recommending?
To revoke the defendant's probation, adjudicated guilty, and sentence the defendant to 6 years TDC.
All right, and defense?
Judge,
We'll have witnesses or,
no witnesses, Your Honor, just argument.
all right, what are you requesting?
We're going to be requesting for Mr. Cole to be placed back on deferred adjudication, and we like to explain what was going on with the MTR.
All right. Let me hear
And,
explanations.
let me
Yes.
explain. First of all, on the BIP program, his deferred was transferred to Harris County. That's where he's from. He completed a lot of the BIP program over there. He was exited from the program because he didn't make his payment for the BIP program. Our best estimate is that he completed maybe almost 90%. He was talking about graduation.
So here's my question.
Mhm.
Do we have proof that he was exited from the program for non-payment? Now you can lower your hand. So here's the thing. Let me explain something to you. You're saying I was exited from the program because I was unable to pay. Okay. Your client, your attorney saying he was exited from the program because my client told me he was unable to play. It's like, where's the proof?
Cole wasn't booted from the batterer's program for violence. It was for non-payment. 11 classes done, only 1 left, and the guy gets dropped like a Netflix free trial that expired. Think about it. Should freedom hinge on a wallet or on actual rehabilitation?
Can I speak, Your Honor?
Well, let me just be clear. So is this for failure to pay? That's what
That
is
is our understanding, Judge. I don't know if probation has any more information beyond that, given the fact that this case.
well, let's call probation in Harris County.
Okay.
And let's see if they'll zoom in. And if this is about payment, then we'll see what's going on.
We can find out.
All right,
That'll be fine. Okay, Jeff?
yes.
You have progress report from the bid program. And on the progress report dated June the 4th of 2024, for the month of May 2024, it indicates he attended 11 of 12 sessions. And at the bottom of the report, it indicates that there is an outstanding balance. However,
Mr. Dillon, can you, I can't see her.
However, I don't have any other updated progress after that. From the BIP program itself.
All right, State, have you reviewed that?
I have not reviewed that, but I'll take her
All right,
word
so
for
if
it.
y'all want to review that, what I can tell parties is this. If the only allegation the state is going on is 14G, and it appears from what Ms. Abrams has said, the progress report she received, there were 12 classes for BIP. He completed 11, and then they say that there's a balance that's due.
Yes.
And I'm assuming the balance that's due is not a balance of another class, but of funds. And what I can tell parties is I don't see how it will be appropriate to revoke him if he's done 11 BIP classes. He only has one more to do,
Mhm.
and he owes a balance.
And court,
And here the judge draws a line in the sand. I don't see how it's appropriate to revoke probation for missing just one class because of money. Translation? The system is asking, is this about justice or just unpaid invoices? What do you think? Should missing one payment undo 90% of progress?
wants additional arguments, I'll go into it, but I'll wait for the court.
May state subject for motion.
Yes,
Thank you, Judge.
sure. You want to confer with the state as well?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, have a seat for a little while. Okay.
And is that for family violence? All right, I'll take that up right after this. Can you let him know? All right, Mr. Cole? Is there anything else?
I have an argument if I could make Karen before you make your ruling, if that's okay.
Yes.
Reason why state's recommendation is what it is because he is on probation for a 2018 offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. 3 years later, he picks up a misdemeanor assault, bodily injury Mary Cohab, which unfortunately we could not go forward because that victim was uncooperative, but it was a different victim.
All right, so I will listen to what you have to say, but let me explain something to everybody.
Yes.
Y'all are only going on 14G. And that's the only thing that I have before the court. Now, I see the motion to revoke, and I see there is a violation of number 1. There's a violation of 14U. But the only thing I've been presented with is a violation of 14G.
Yes, Your Honor.
And he's on deferred adjudication. And 14G, and if there's a disagreement on the facts that I've been given, let me know. The facts that have been given to me about 14G is he didn't complete his battering intervention and prevention program. There were 12 classes. He did 11. They kicked him out of the program because he didn't have money, and they're waiting for the balance. And then I guess he can take the final 12. That's what I'm dealing with. If people want to go on other violations, I'm willing to hear that. But you all have just gone on 14G. And what I have on 14G, I don't, well, it would not be appropriate to revoke someone who's done 11 of the classes. They only have one remaining. And the reason why they didn't do that one is because they didn't have money to pay for it. Now, if somebody wants to present some information to me that he could have paid for it, he just chose not to. He won the lottery. He chose not to use it for that. He chose to do something else. I'll hear that, but I'm just here for 14G.
And Judge, he did not win the lottery. In addition, Judge, he was doing really well the past year and a half. This is his first MTR. He's on deferred. He's employed. He has a CDL. He's a truck driver. He hasn't tested positive for any substances. He's tested all the time and come up negative. If you test him today, Judge, just in case there was any doubt, he would come out negative. He's been in jail in custody for about 30 days already. And we believe that if and he is motivated to get back on deferred. If you place him back on deferred, Judge, he's going to do anything the court wants him to do. If you want him to do the BIP course all over again, he's more than willing to do it.
Well, I don't think it would be appropriate to redo the entire course when he only has one class remaining. Is there something else, State?
I make one more additional argument, Your Honor.
Yes.
Notice the state's angle here. They're saying, Judge, don't let him slide. He had a whole year to pay and didn't. This is classic courtroom tug of war. Defense paints Cole as a hardworking trucker caught in bad luck, while the prosecution frames him as a guy gaming the system. Whose story do you buy?
The violation of the BIP that Your Honor is aware of occurred over a year ago, and as Mr. Deleón said, his client is gainfully employed as a trucker, which I would assume pays well, and he's had a year in which to try and take care of that particular non-payment to the BIP issue and has failed to do so up to this point in time. Additionally, Your Honor, if Your Honor does not feel like revocation is appropriate, state would, and if Your Honor is considering continuing on probation, state would ask that Your Honor add a jail sanction to his probation that begins today.
All right. This is what I can tell everybody. There's one outstanding class. Am I correct in that?
Correct, Judge.
It appears so, yes, Your Honor.
And this motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision was filed on June 12th, 2025. And we'll have to look in to see when he was actually arrested on this, because sometimes motions to enter adjudication of guilt, they're signed, they're filed, and then if he was in Harris County and if he were arrested in Harris County, he would have needed to be brought back to Bexar County. So these are your choices. You know yourself better than I do. You know yourself better than your counsel does or the state does. I do realize that the state is only proceeding on 14G. I don't understand about this thing from North Carolina on June 8th, 2025. But these are your choices. I can continue you, or I'll sentence you to 2 years in the prison. Those are your choices.
Which one do you want? You want to be continued? You want to?
Well, I can tell you right now, based upon what's in the motion to revoke, maybe truck driving is not for you, because the violation, and I'm not considering it, the state didn't present any information, but I see it where it's alleged to have been committed in North Carolina. And I think that's related to he's driving his truck in North Carolina. So maybe he should not be allowed to drive in other states.
Absolutely. Now, I've had a discussion with my client, Your Honor, and if placed back on deferred, he knows that, if he gets in trouble again, he's going to be back in front of the 187. So he understands there can be, bad consequences. So, but he has reiterated to me, he does want to be placed on deferred, back on deferred, and he'll do whatever the court asks him to do.
Well, if he wants to be continued and deferred and continue to drive a truck, I'm not going to allow him in the state of North Carolina.
I think he'll agree to that easily.
Is there anything?
The judge is done playing nice. You're a walking red flag. That's not just legal reasoning. That's a straight-up mic drop moment. And here's the kicker. Instead of prison, Cole's getting another chance, but with handcuffs of conditions so tight, one slip could send him packing.
Anything else?
If Your Honor would, as you just mentioned, you can see it when you provide evidence of the number one, but just consider the fact that even after doing 11 of the 12 BIP courses, he picked up that number one. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, I don't know if that rises to the level of preponderance of the evidence, which is the standard of proof in motions to revoke. I don't know if that's something that rises to the level of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. If it's for a jury trial, I just see that there's something in North Carolina.
I present this to Your Honor if Your Honor would be willing to look at it over Mr. Deleón's objection.
Judge, I'm gonna object to that because they waived the number one allegation. So that's something for the court not to consider.
All right, that'll be sustained. So I'm going to deny the motion, alternate amending conditions. There's to be no contact with the state of North Carolina unless he's ordered to be there,
Okay,
legally ordered to be there, not by your employer says you need to drop off a load in North Carolina. You're not allowed in the state of North Carolina unless in the state of North Carolina,
Thank you.
they have a hearing for you in a court of law.
Yes, ma'am. Understood.
Is there any other conditions you request state?
For the defendant as well. Part of the terms of this probation to have no contact with Tamisha Singleton. And that's, if I can spell it for the record, Your Honor.
You said Tamisha?
Yes, Tamesha, and then Singleton, Singleton.
good, no objection to that, Judge.
All right. All right, so there's to be no contact with Tamisha Singleton, no residing with minors, no unsupervised contact with minors. And you're going to restart the BIP course.
Yes, ma'am.
And Ms. Abrams, that needs to be restarted within 15 days. Is there anything else?
Nothing else, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
State.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. I didn't really consider that number one because the state didn't proceed on the number one. But I did allow you no contact with Carolina because, of course, you see things and it's alleged to have been committed in North Carolina. It appears that you are a person who should not be in a relationship because you don't know how to keep your hands to yourself. So you need to work on self and figure out why you may or may not, because I don't know anything about that case, are abusive towards people you claim to care about. Because at some point in time, you're going to run.
This lecture is brutal but eye-opening. The judge basically says, keep abusing people, and it won't be the law that stops you. It'll be someone's family. That's not legal theory, that's street justice. And for anyone watching, it's a chilling reminder. Courts can only protect so much before consequences come knocking.
Across somebody who's somebody's brother, mother, or sister who's going to be very upset with you that you're mistreating their relative, and they're not going to tolerate that. And if something were to happen, you know what people are going to say? Oh, well, you should have kept your hands to yourself. So I don't know why you can't do that. Do you know why you're unable to do that?
Your Honor.
Tell the judge what you can do in the future.
Well,
Get
no,
some-
not what you're
get-
gonna do. No, not what you're gonna do in the future. Why can't you keep your hands to yourself? Why do you keep being abusive towards people you claim to care about or claim to love?
It wasn't my intention.
No, I don't want to talk about your intention because you're here. And the reason why you're here is because you cannot keep your hands off of people that you claim that you love. So I don't want this. It's not my intention because it is your intention. You know, maybe after something happens, people have regrets. They want to cry, buy somebody flowers and say, I love you. It'll never happen again. And then the next thing you know, it happens again. And then people start gaslighting people, making them think it's their fault. And then they're trying to walk on pins and needles to make sure that you're happy so you won't explode and act crazy and proceed in violence and not in love. So why are you doing this?
Yeah, I'm not doing it, like,
No, you're
Right.
here on deferred, that the state agreed for you to have deferred on an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. That wasn't done in love.
I'm,
And then you have the North Carolina case, which I am not taking as true because nothing is presented. That's not done in love if something happened. So I don't know. Maybe you want to be in prison. And then if you go to prison, you know what will end up happening? And people think I have some control over what happens in the prison. I don't. If I were building a great prison, you know how I would build it? Each inmate at the prison would have their own room. And you know why? Because that would make it easier for the guards. You have your toilet in your room, your bed in your room. You can sleep, not to watch your back for other inmates who probably want to do you harm. So we are back to my question. Why do you continue to do this? Maybe you want to go to prison
no.
and you can get into prison and you could probably end up fighting over there. Maybe you'll win some, maybe you'll lose some. So why are you doing this?
Well, I really don't know, Your Honor. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Hope so.
I am. I'm gonna be honest with you from my heart. That I really don't be in a relationship with women. It just, they be with me because of who I am and what type of stuff I do, like work and stuff like that. So it really don't be out of love or passion or.
Oh, no, here's the thing. I understand. And I will tell you, I understand based upon cases that I've seen as a prosecutor and defense attorneys, that women sometimes end up in relationships with people and they bring their children along for their relationship. And I'm always thinking, why have women's standards fallen so that they're accepting of someone who's been to prison and they bring in a relationship? For example, with you, you have an affirmative finding of family violence. You're on deferred adjudication for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. You would think a woman would see your history or question you about it before getting involved with you. And they would say, you know what? I have children. I don't want to be in a relationship with you right now. You're on probation. Obviously, you have anger issues, but no. I see it all the time. You know what some women would do? They will meet a guy, even though they have children, they will meet a guy at the club on Friday night, bring them to their home, and they never leave. And the wife will, the girlfriend, the person who picked them up, they'll go to work on Monday and leave that man with their children who they really don't know. And then a child ends up dead or a child ends up raped. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. And so with you, you're a walking red flag. And some woman allegedly in North Carolina thought that you would be great. And maybe because you're a truck driver, and I know how much money truck drivers make because there are people in my family who are truck drivers. And who knows, maybe they see you as a paycheck and you think because they see you as a paycheck, you're allowed to do whatever you want to do. You're going to end up, if you continue on this path, you're either going to end up serving a lot of your life in prison, and then you can fight with people at the prison because that usually ends up, that's what happens. I have no control over that. Or either you're going to meet somebody whose father is going to be very upset with you, or their sister or their brother. You understand?
Yes.
I went to a church service, and this guy who was being honored as Christian of the Year, he's been married, I think, for like 30 or 45 years. His wife's like, everything you hear about him is exactly true. I don't have any problems. He's a great guy. So he spoke and he said, people ask me, how are you able to be such a great guy to your wife? And you know what he told them? He said, because I'm a man of faith and I believe in God. And I always think of God as being her father. And I don't want to answer to him. Because he said, if I treat her badly, and her father comes to talk to me, which he says is God, how am I going to respond to that? So maybe if you believe in a higher power, you need to start thinking about the people that you're in a relationship. Their higher power is their father. And they're going to come asking you, why are you treating my child this way? You understand?
No.
Don't come back here again.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.